Well, hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Tania Joy Show. We are at the new set of a brand new show. So, for those of you that have followed the show, you have seen me for years. This has gone on for quite a few years now. I think I'm in year 4 since I started this. Hopefully, you caught my last show I did, which was on Rumble, maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago. And if you have not seen that, I encourage you to go watch it because you'll understand why we're shifting, what's going on. And I'm not going to go into all those details today. But if you will go find that particular show, it'll be the very last show uploaded. It will give you some information that's going to help you and hopefully bring you back for more and being able to watch more of our new content. If you are brand new, I'm going to put this QR code. Go on over there, scan that with your phone, and go to the links. Hopefully all those links are updated. I haven't actually fully checked. I've got to double check on them. But if you go there, you're going to find the links. You're going to find where you can find me. The show will be airing on my Facebook page. It will also be on the Rumble channel. Now, it'll be on probably my personal page is what I'm guessing, but it will also be on CloutHub. So for those of you that don't know CloutHub, that's another video streaming platform, a great place. You'll be able to find it there. And we may go back on YouTube. I'm just going to say I am going to try, and we'll see if YouTube lets me. When you go watch that video that I'm talking about on Rumble, you're going to hear the change and the things that have happened. And we're not going to be talking about as much controversy or controversial things anymore on the show. We spent many years doing that and bringing some amazing guests and having some great conversation, but we're taking it a new direction. I'm going in a whole new way. That's why you've seen a new show intro and everything. And it's exciting. So if you're new, make sure you like, subscribe wherever you're watching, and join me on Rumble and on Facebook. All right. Well, I'm really excited because my very first show back in this whole new platform and in this new style is a dear friend of mine who I've known actually like my whole life. We grew up going to her really awesome house on the lake in Minnesota and playing in the water, and her brothers would find frogs and chase us, and that's what I remember. And we had so much fun, and we've been family friends, and she is an amazing holistic genetic specialist. And if you don't know what that is, you're going to want to stick around to find out, because this is going to blow your mind. It's going to open up pathways for you to actually walk into a space where your body can start to heal itself. And I think we all want that. And you're going to be intrigued. So stick around. I'm going to be right back in a few minutes with my good friend, Julie Alsaker. All right. Well, for those of you that have followed the show for a while, I want to tell you about something very exciting. We have our very own merchandise for the Tania Joy Show. Now, it doesn't say the Tania Joy Show really, because I don't know that you'd want to wear something like that. Maybe you would. But many of you know that I love to talk about Esther. So all of my product is surrounding Esther 4:14, that you were created for such a time as this. This hat is one of my favorites. And you can go right now to my website, TANIAJOY.tv, and on the front page, you're going to see merchandise. Click that link and it's going to open up to this tab. And then you're going to be able to scroll through and find the product that you would be interested in. This would be great for summertime. Pick up a tank top, pick up a hat. And you know what? It's not about this show. It's about you. It's about the fact that you were created for such a time. You are here for such a time as this. And so now you can go pick up some products, some merchandise, and show people, one, scriptures, because they're going to go, what does that mean? And you can say, this is about Esther from the Bible, Esther 4:14. And you can actually have an opportunity to minister to someone and share the gospel, but you can also be reminded of why you are here. So go on over there, pick up some for yourself today, and I believe you're going to love it. And then send me a note and a picture with the item that you are wearing. All right? God bless you all. We are back. We're so glad to see you all. Thanks for joining. Let me bring Julie on in. Hi, Julie.
Hello, Tania. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
It's so great to have you on the show and to be able to talk about these things. So Julie's been doing this for a long time. She's got like over 25 years of experience, and we reconnected recently. And when we reconnected, because of the health stuff I've struggled with, of course, I was sharing, my story and what I deal with. And Julie's like, this is exciting. And so as we started talking and I started learning really what she's doing, I'm like, oh my gosh, number one, I definitely need my genetics looked at. But number two, can you come on the show and let's share with people these amazing tools and things that we can do to really help our bodies function the way they were made. So I'm going to let you take over and share what is a holistic genetic specialist.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It is an interesting thing to try to explain because, to be direct, it doesn't exist. It is a field that I am creating. My background is I worked in medicine as a medical sign language interpreter for 25 years. Simultaneously, I racked up certifications and credentials in natural health because that's where my heart was at. And everything from holistic nutrition to fitness to orthomolecular facial analysis to functional blood specialists. And then I found genetics. And let me tell you, it's like when you go to the optometrist and he does the little clicky thing and he goes, choose one or two, click. And every time it gets brighter and clearer and clearer and clearer. And then all of a sudden there's that final click where voila, the tiniest line of letters becomes so clear. That thing that was impossible to know before is blatantly obvious.
Mm-hmm.
That's what layering on genetics did for my practice. So I started a practice 5 years ago. I left interpreting in mainstream medicine and I started my own practice called Lux Bioanalytics. And I take all the avenues and I use them in whichever way is necessary for the person, because we treat people as though they are a group, right? You are a species, therefore we treat you all the same. However, when we address a person uniquely based on their unique genetics, based on their unique optimal blood ranges, based on their unique life experiences, their unique traumas and heartbreak and things that have happened that they've either never dealt with or or cast shame upon them, it's not just the science of genetics. That's why this is holistic genetics, and that's why it doesn't exist, because people like to be over here with the black and white, or over here with the woo and the energy, or over here with the fitness and the nutrition. And the most impressive, fast results happen for the people that can't find answers anywhere when we group them all together. And that's what I have coined as holistic genetics. It's a field that I have yet to see that it exists anywhere. If somebody does it, let's hook up. The more the merrier, right?
Right.
There's no competition. I always say there's cooperation, right?
I love it. I love it. And it's really cool because I've not heard of it. I've had a lot of doctors, for people that have watched the show in the past. I did many shows with functional health practitioners, right? So functional health doctors that were very focused on holistic health. And so whether that was looking at the blood, holistically or whatever, but I never saw anyone that also tied in the genetics, right? So explain just high level, because I don't want you to like give away your secrets of how you do this, but how you do this, like, with actually being able to, like, you're testing and looking at the actual DNA.
Yes. So I utilize another company and I get the raw data is for me, the report is for you. And what it gives you is this beautiful layout of, it's just a big aha, right? When I do the 1 hour genetics report review with people, the whole time they're going, oh, that explains so much. And so let me give you an example of that. So there's a process that happens in our body, and I actually have the mini course that I'm offering to all of your listeners at a discount. That mini course is on something called methylation. And I like to say it's the most vital process in your body that no one's ever heard of. It happens in every cell in your body. So if you have, and some people have heard of this because of other popular speakers, if you have what's called an MTHFR variant, so you have your DNA strands, a section of the strand is considered a gene. On that gene, there are locations where you're supposed to have a specific letter, but another letter came in instead.
Oh.
To call it a mutation, but mutation
Okay.
has a negative connotation.
Yes.
Because sometimes when you have that letter swap, it actually makes you more equipped for the world we're in today. So sometimes the wild or the normal is less effective than the swap.
Oh, interesting.
And that's because the genotype, when they map the human genome, the person wasn't the epitome, right? 70% of it is one person, then a scattering of a few other people. They weren't the epitome of health. They were just the people that got mapped. And that's why that happens. Anyway.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's so fun. So you go back to the MTHFR, if you have that, as well as there's 12 other genes that I look at for this methylation process. If you have variants in this, it's going to affect your ability to detoxify. It's going to affect your access to your energy. Let's say if you have an MTHFR 677 and a 1298, if you have a homozygous, so 2 letters swapped of both of those, you're going to have up to a 60 to 70% deficiency in access to your energy. So it's like you have this amazing car, sports car. It's gorgeous. And
you can't drive it fast.
The tank is full of gas. But when you turn the ignition, it's only turning on 30 to 40% of the time.
Wow. So when somebody can get a grasp of what's going on in the genetic code, ultimately, all of a sudden that's going to unlock opportunity for growth, for change, for new things to do or change in your food, right? I mean,
yes, it's the easy button. It's the easy button because most of the time with protocols, we can look at blood work and get a really great idea of what's happening. But they like to call it the root cause, and it was until we had access to the genes. Okay. Now there's a new actual root that we get to look at. Now the blood is more like the stem and not the root cause.
Interesting.
So I always say you don't have the true root cause without your genes, because why is your blood work doing this? Oh, it's doing it because you have this genetic variant, which combined with this lifestyle, with this particular action. So going back to methylation, MTHFR, MTR, CMT, there's lots of genes involved in the process. If you are eating American bread products that are not organic, the vast majority are sprayed with folic acid. People with these genetic variants are not able to utilize this form of, people will call it folate. It's not folate. It's synthetic version of folate. And their bodies can't convert it well because of their genetic variant. And that's about 44% of people have some methylation impact. So 44% of people eating white bread from the store or crackers or noodles that are sourced from American flour, which also has glyphosate. So it's good to, not use for other reasons. They are reducing access to their energy. They are reducing the body's ability to detoxify. They are causing brain fog. These things why are these symptoms happening? I work out and I'm counting my calories. Well, the genes tell you your body doesn't like this. Yeah. So it's not about elimination. It's about elevation. Get organic. Get sourdough, right? Make your own.
I was just going to ask you. So as you, when you now get their testing back, you get their genes, and then you meet with them, and then you kind of go through, hey, this is not just food, it's also emotional. It's a whole bunch of things that we're going to get into, but you're able to look at them and just based on their genes go, you shouldn't eat that. Like that's going to make it worse. That's going to make you feel worse. It's going to make you feel sicker. It's going to impact you negatively. That's amazing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What do people say when they hear that? Do they sometimes say, well, that's interesting because I really don't feel good when I eat bread, let's say, or I don't feel, or are some people like probably shocked? Like I had no idea.
Most people will by the end of it, because we're not just looking at this one process, right? I'm looking at 36 different pathways. Holistically looking at all of it, by the end, like I said, I don't know that I've ever had a person, man or woman, in my office where we've gone through this that hasn't cried.
Wow.
It's that powerful.
Wow.
Yeah, I get
That's
emotional
incredible.
talking about it because it's life-changing, and it's life-changing in a way that people don't understand. It is a small investment
Yeah.
compared to what people will put out for other things.
Yeah.
The test that I recommend, I get zero kickback from it. I could recommend any other test and get a practitioner kickback. This is the only one that doesn't. And yet I recommend them because there's a very popular test out there for $600 where you get 5 SNPs. 5 genes.
Okay.
That's not enough information, right? We're kind of going Goldilocks with this, right?
Yeah.
The bed is too soft. Then
Yeah.
there's the test where you can get 800,000 SNPs. It's too much. It is overwhelming. I find it very interesting, but for the client, it is overwhelming. It's too much, and it's a lot of nickel and diming. So nonetheless,
Uh-huh.
very great company, great tests. 800,000 steps, too much.
Yeah.
Bed's too hard. But the 3x4 genetics, that is the one with 168 SNPs, and they are all clinically actionable, meaning they're not saying, hey, your hair is blonde. We don't need that gene. We can
Yeah.
just look at you and know. We're
Yeah.
looking at things that will impact your decisions on how you work out, how you eat, how you think.
Wow.
I mentioned the COMT gene, and that is a gene that helps process your catecholamine. So your neurohormones, dopamine, things
Mhm.
of that sort. To find out, as a mom, I had my kids do these tests as well. To find out that they are what's called a slow COMT, it means that they metabolize their, I'll just unscientifically, they metabolize their emotions slower.
Oh.
And so when my daughter needs more time, when somebody else can just get over something fast and like, hey, why are you being like that? We're
Yeah.
all over it. But she's still physically affected by it. It's because she's still physically experiencing it.
So can you go into that a little bit deeper? Because of course we've been having these conversations, and eventually we may do another show where we talk more about these other things that we've been talking about. But what does it mean to metabolize an emotion?
Yeah. So every emotion, every thought, feeling, everything that you are able to observe has a physical mechanism, right? Our thoughts, the energy, the electricity, it's going through our brain. Nothing just is there that we're able to observe that didn't have a biochemical series of events for it to happen, right? So when you're feeling sad, right, the tears come, there has to be the neurohormone, the catecholamine, that delivers the message to the brain. And then, of course, every emotion has a different amount of.
Okay.
It's a recipe, right? Every emotion is a different recipe, because you don't experience happiness and sadness the same. They're two different chemical mixtures. And again, this
Okay.
is wildly unscientific. I'm just trying to make it understandable.
No, it's good because people will understand this better. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. And what happens is those hormones, they don't just stay up there, right? It's just like when we eat and digest our food. We don't just eat food and it piles up in our stomach. Our body
Right.
processes it
Yeah.
and then it eliminates it. So our body processes the neurochemicals, the
Uh-huh.
neurohormones, it processes them, and they go through their path to be eliminated. And then, fresh messages come in.
So
And
when someone has that particular gene, their body naturally is going to take longer to process that emotion, whatever it is,
Mhm.
before it's kind of eliminated or done and able to
Yeah,
move on, basically,
yeah,
like how
and
we would look and be like able to move on to the next thing.
yes.
Wow. Could
And
you
it's not
imagine then?
something. Some people will be like, oh, an emotion is 5 seconds and then it's done. It's more complicated than that. It has to do with how things have piled up for them, because it's
Yeah.
not that one single, it's how many things have now been piling up because this process is
Mm,
slower. And then I find that people with that particular allele are more likely to be fixed mindset. If you've ever read
yeah.
Growth Mindset by Carol Dweck, I find that more of them tend to be fixed mindset than growth mindset. That is not scientific. That is just my observation with people
Okay.
I've worked
But that's fascinating because could you imagine? I mean, we're just talking one gene here,
with.
one little tiny gene that has to do with emotions.
Yeah.
But imagine if a parent knew that about their child, imagine the I don't know any other word to use other than trauma
Yeah.
that could happen to a child who naturally needs that extra time. The parents are thinking, get over it. Like, enough already,
Mhm.
enough.
Yeah.
That's now adding more trauma, more
Yes.
damage really
Yeah.
to that little kid's DNA.
So
So
I'll
that's
add on to
fascinating.
that from my experience with my daughter, who has, and they're open to me sharing. She has LEPR variants. The LEPR is responsible for the communication to your brain that you're full, right? So when you get your 3x4 test, you'll see everything as pictograph, right? And you'll see a picture of a plate, and it's going to show genetically what kind of appetite you have. My
Wow.
daughter, you can't see the plate. The food is falling off the plate because she has two separate variants that are homozygous. So her body doesn't really get that signal that I'm full. So her whole childhood, she's going, Mom, I'm hungry. And I'm saying, drink a glass of water. You're fine. You just ate. You
Yeah.
just ate. And being a holistic nutritionist, and she has her dad's biology, I swear she got all of it. And they just come from a more voluptuous family.
Okay.
And so she is a more voluptuous girl.
Yeah.
And so I knew that, that was partly just how their genetics were before I ever studied genetics.
Yeah.
And at the same time, after getting her report, oh my word, I felt like garbage. I've been telling her she was wrong. Keep in mind, every time she said, I'm hungry, and I said, no, you're not,
Yeah.
I invalidated
Yeah.
truth.
Yeah.
That's a big deal, and it's avoidable.
I mean, and I know we're not going to be able to get into this. We're going to do more of these with Julie, guys, because like we're just barely scratching the surface. We're like scratching the surface off the top of the box. We haven't even opened the box yet. But my thought with that is, could you imagine what our world could be if this was something that our medical, our insurance or whatever you want to call it, our country, our world, whatever, supported to the point where they realized this could really fix some things. This could make people healthier. It could eliminate trauma. It could eliminate emotional distress. It could eliminate future health issues. It could eliminate the need for pharmaceuticals. Obviously, people, we know they don't want that, but just imagine what this could do to society if
Yeah.
people could understand this. So explain, because I want to make sure we cover this. How can people work with you? And actually, what would be the process? What would it look like, let's say, for someone who's watching and they're like, okay, I'm kind of curious about this. What does that process look like?
Yeah, I have a couple different entry points. The one that's on the screen right now is I have this little mini course on methylation, which is the joy of my heart because my methylation pathway is horrible. So I know it very, very personally, and I like to teach a mini course on it. That's just a little toe dip in the water to go, is this the right person for me? Because I'm very intentional about, you got to be drawn to who you're working with. Otherwise, you're going to resist what they have to say, right? This isn't just the black and white. Yeah, I can give you all the science, but if you are not drawn going, this is the answer. This is the community that I belong in, and this is where I'm going to find my answers. So I like the little toe dip mini course on methylation. They can sign up for that. I do free webinars. And then in that webinar, I talk about my group program that I do, which is 12 weeks. And you talk about all